Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Tonight on Our News, one MP's call for action on marital rape. A judge's decision on Bella Walker's burial expected this week. And Michael Pintard receives his instrument of office as opposition leader. Welcome to Our News and thanks for joining us. I'm Christina Dragovich. Topping news tonight, a Supreme Court judge has decided the court battle over who gets responsibility of the body of 4-year-old Bella Walker will be heard in closed sessions, away from the media. Justice Lauren Klein says he expects a decision to be handed down by the end of the week. Kyle Joaquin has more.
A hearing got underway today before Supreme Court Justice Lauren Klein, with Bella's maternal grandmother, Mona Lisa Walker, seeking to have her body removed from Serenity Funeral Home, allowing her and perhaps Bella's mother to make funeral arrangements. Walker was in court with her attorney, Bjorn Ferguson, while Bella's father joined proceedings via Zoom. He was represented by attorney Maria Daxon. The judge informed the media of his decision to have the matter heard in private to protect the dignity of the deceased and because criminal proceedings are underway. He added he didn't want personal accusations that will be made during the hearing to be out in the public. Klein said when the court is ready to rule, it will be delivered in open court. As they are just getting started, he expects that to be by the end of the week. Police say Bella died on November 5th after suffering blunt force trauma, which resulted in punctured internal organs and broken ribs. The child's mother, Estonia Walker, has been charged with exposing her to grievous harm and cruelty, while Walker's boyfriend was charged with murder. She was in court today before Justice Gilomena Archer-Mintz seeking bail. The judge adjourned that matter until Tuesday. For Our News, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
In other news, Minister of Education Glenys Hanna-Martin making an impassioned plea to fellow members of Parliament on violence against women and girls today. This as new opposition leader Michael Pintard called for concrete action on the issue of marital rape. Jasmine Brown reports.
The hotly debated topics of domestic violence and marital rape were raised by the Anglerston MP who addressed Parliament moments after the House Speaker recognized the Zonta Club and its Say No to Violence campaign. Hanna-Martin said the statistics are clear, noting the Bahamas has one of the highest rates of violence against women in the region.
This is a problem. And so in this particular period, we are bringing a focus to this issue because when those of us who are parents, when we have girls, when we have daughters, nobody wants their daughter to be the subject of violence or any sort of assault or assailing circumstance.
She called on the men in Parliament to state their position on marital rape legislation.
The men have to be the strongest advocates. Yes. You know, someone said to me the other day, why are we asking the women about marital rape? What do the men think about it? Let go on the record so the country can know. In
2017, a United Nations Special Representative on Violence Against Women said that the Bahamas is out of step with the UN's Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, as it has failed to criminalize all forms of marital rape.
This idea that there can be no such thing as marital rape because two persons share a piece of paper or even an emotional bond that resulted in a marriage certificate, I mean, is absolutely ludicrous. The truth is, if a woman knows that her husband is extremely promiscuous, they still live together, she have good reason to believe that her life is at risk based on some sexual choices that he has made, she reserves the right to refuse submitting her body that could be exposed to something that could be deadly to her.
In 2018, during an appearance before the UN Human Rights Council in Geneva, Switzerland, then Attorney General Karl Bethel said the government intended to criminalize marital rape. A bill was drafted and circulated among community stakeholders, but the Minutes administration made no movement on the issue before leaving office in September. Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis recently faced backlash after he said that the issue was not a priority for his administration. He later tweeted that he believes marital rape is wrong and a national conversation is needed.
It is a long overdue discussion that must end in something concrete that the society can measure.
Now, all of the MPs who spoke up in the House of Assembly today say one thing is very clear, and that is the fact that everyone needs to speak up on the issues. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Meanwhile, contracts and spending at the Bahamas Public Parks and Beaches Authority in the months leading up to the general election were once again a topic of discussion in the House of Assembly as Prime Minister Philip Davis described the move as electioneering.
The 2021-22 fiscal year, it had been approved a budget of $15.2 million. Beaches and Parks, approved budget. Parliament voted $15.2 million. After contingencies, its total budget was around $28 million, an increase of 86% against budget, an increase that coincided with electioneering.
Davis says he was also told because of new contracts issued in the months of July, August, and September of this year, the projected expenditure of the authority for this fiscal year is $37 million.
That's an increase of almost 150% against the budgeted amount, and in dollars, it is an increase of $22 million. Right now, recalling now, Parliament only authorized $15.2 million. Now, I want that to sink in for a moment. A number of these contracts were awarded to clean, middle, and high-end subdivisions.
He says those subdivisions include Blair and Westridge estates. As of September 30th, just 4 months into the fiscal year, Davis says the authority had already utilized almost 60% of its budget for the entire year. Roadside contracts in Killarney alone had risen to nearly $400,000. Well, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard receiving his instruments of appointment today as he takes on the role of opposition leader in the House of Assembly. He says the FNM plans on being a strong opposition.
We engage in constructive engagement with the members of the government. We intend to hold their feet to the fire, but at the same time, where it is necessary, we will make recommendations on how they might improve legislation in our parliament.
Pintard also addressing rumors of a possible Senate shuffle for the opposition. He says whatever is decided, women will play a major role.
The only thing I would say is I think it is important that women factor heavily in the Senate, and if we're going to make an adjustment in the decision we make, then we should send a clear signal that that's a part of our commitment.
So you're saying perhaps a female leader?
I've said all that I intend to say on that subject.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis on the defense today after Seabreeze Member of Parliament Leslia Bryce slammed his administration over the Royal Caribbean International Paradise Island deal.
To offer a major cruise line a 150-year deal. Let me repeat. A 150-year lease on Paradise Island is the height of incompetence and disrespect for the Bahamian people.
Royal Caribbean Cruise Line is interested in developing the beach excursion on Paradise Island as it seeks to boost passenger numbers.
It has always been the government's policy that we do not sell Crown land to foreigners or grant Crown land to foreigners. As a matter of fact, we look at the global picture as to the advantage of leasing Crown land to foreign nationals rather than one or two individuals benefiting. We look at the global picture to ensure that the nation would benefit.
Partly cloudy days and cooler nights in the forecast. Greg Thompson has the first look.
Thanks, Christina. Welcome everybody for your first look at weather, brought to you tonight by Ports International, trusted medical supplies for a better quality of life. Very nice conditions on the outside right now as the frontal boundary is now pushing through the area. Temperatures in the low 70s, 72 under mostly clear skies. We have some patchy clouds around, but we call it mostly clear. North winds at 9 miles per hour and your feels-like temperature at 70 degrees. Satellite view, that frontal boundary pushing into the northwest Bahamas with some showers associated with it, but most of those showers are falling apart as we speak. Front boundary will continue to push towards the south and should exit the Bahamas over the next couple of days, and a nice air mass will be moving in for the next several days. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come, the PM says the IMF recommended a VAT hike, and the race for F&M chairman and deputy leader begins. Stay tuned.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
Prime Minister revealing the most recent IMF technical report in Parliament, recommending the Minnis administration consider raising value-added tax to 15%. However, that wasn't the only recommendation made.
Raising the overall VAT rate to 15%, while keeping the existing VAT exemptions and leaving in place the scenario where the government was paying VAT for wealthy foreign companies. I want the Bahamian people to hear me very clearly. When we came to office, the analysis performed by the IMF indicated that if the government didn't change its VAT structure, VAT would have to be raised to 15%. Imagine that.
Former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis denied this claim. The Prime Minister also commenting on the Bahamas' recently imposed travel ban on 8 African countries. Davis says it's not perfect protection from the recently discovered Omicron COVID variant.
This is not perfect protection. The variant has been identified in several other countries as well. The idea is to buy some time until we have more clarity. We just don't have enough clinical data to know with confidence yet how transmissible the new variant is or whether it induces more severe disease. We have to stay alert, stay flexible, and continue to combat the Delta strain, which is still circulating and remains a threat.
Shifting gears, now that a new Free National Movement leader has been elected, the race is on to elect a new deputy leader and chairman in February. Former Yamacraw MP Ellsworth Johnson has said he's running for chairman, and now former Elizabeth MP Dwayne Sands is throwing his hat in the ring.
I think that my reputation, my qualifications should stand on their own. I like Ellsworth Johnson. I like Donald Saunders. I like Michael Folks. That said, at the end of a respectful, honorable campaign, it is my hope that the delegates see the merit of a Dwayne Sands as chairman.
St. Anne's MP Adrian White wasn't straightforward in saying which post he'll be seeking, while St. Barnabas MP Shannon Don Cartwright says he's considering a deputy leadership run.
It may be, but really, we can't put these tents up with the F&M paraphernalia in the constituency anymore. So I'm bringing out my Sunday best, representing my party, representing my constituency, letting the people know that we're passionate to be F&Ms.
Right now, let me say this, that we're focused on the leadership. I am in serious discussions about running for the deputy leadership of the party. And as soon as that decision is made officially, the Bahamas and most importantly the members of the Free National Movement will be made aware.
Former Bambootown MP Renward Wells says he's also prayerfully considering what he will do come February.
I must be honest with you, there are scores of Free National Movement supporters who are asking me for quite some time to put my name forward in various positions in the party. I'm going to pray about it, sit down with my family, sit down with those folks inside the constituency who've supported me, those who support me inside the Free National Movement.
Up next, could Loretta Butler Turner return to the F&M, and how the men's basketball team fared in Game 1. Find out more after this.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Following an open invitation for former members of the F&M to return to the fold, former Deputy Leader Loretta Butler Turner says it's being taken into consideration. However, she maintains she has no intention of returning to frontline politics. Bethany McDermott reports.
We're calling on our sister, Loretta Butler Turner. We want you to know the tent is open. Feel free to join us.
So what does the former F&M deputy leader think about this call from new party leader Michael Pintard?
Well, everything is on the table. Obviously, one should always consider invitations. It would be absolutely inappropriate to not consider. But, for me, I have to make it very clear that at this stage of my life, I'm no longer going to be involved in frontline politics.
In 2016, Butler Turner and 6 other F&M MPs ousted Dr. Hubert Minnis as leader of the official opposition as they felt he was unfit to lead. Butler Turner has said she's no longer part of the F&M. With a new leader elected, she's hoping the F&M will be an effective opposition.
I just believe that in the terms of democracy for our country, there must always be effective opposition.
Now, while she hasn't made a decision on whether she will rejoin the F&M following that invite from newly minted party leader Michael Pintard, Butler Turner says if he wants to have a conversation with her, she will make herself available.
I talk to anybody. Certainly if Mr. Pintard would like to talk, I'm always, will always avail myself.
Last week, the Davis administration announced that Butler Turner will be appointed consultant to the SPDC, a move that surprised some political supporters.
It's sad because I think that what I'm doing is for a nationalistic approach. It's going to encompass Bahamians from all walks of life, Bahamians of all political stripes. I don't think that anybody should feel, in my opinion, should feel anyway. I'm going to be helping with nation building, and I think that ultimately is the ultimate service that we can give to country.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
And the Bahamas men's basketball team dropping its first game to Canada at the qualifiers in the Dominican Republic. Marcellus Hall has that tonight in sports.
Thanks and welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Our men's national basketball team on the road this past weekend. And matter of fact, they're still on the road as they play a World Championship basketball qualifier match against Team Canada. Tough task because they were playing shorthanded, not without their best players, and then facing a team on the road, as we said, for a 2-game set. First game yesterday, let's see how they did. First of 2 games between the Bahamas and Canada at the World Cup qualifiers in Dominican Republic. The Bahamas playing that 2-game set with Team Canada, hoping to pick up a win, playing a little bit short-handed. That Canadian team, they came out strong. 7 3-pointers in the first quarter alone, and they rode their way to an easy win over our Bahamas squad. 115-73 ends up being the first game in the region qualifying game. And meanwhile, again, it was a tough outing for the Bahamas as they now try to get themselves back on track for the second of those 2 games today. Dominic Bridgewater led the Bahamas. He had 13 points. The 2 teams, as we mentioned, meet again today. This afternoon, as a matter of fact, we'll give you details on that to see how that turns out. Bahamas hoping to steal at least 1 win in this 2-game set. If not, they'll have to regroup when their second matchup rolls around later on this year. But so far, a tough outing for the Bahamas, dropping that first game, as we mentioned. Again, 115-73 ends up being the final score. Meanwhile, play did wrap up here in New Providence at the Bahama Hoops Fest. It turned out to be a pretty good championship game between Maryland and Louisville. Down the stretch, Louisville is able to pull away. They claim the championship there, hoisting the trophy in front of a big crowd of fans, and they celebrate the victory on the men's side. And that's indeed your look at sports for you here on this Monday. We'll have details on today's game for Team Bahamas against Canada, as well as Monday Night Football coming your way tomorrow. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Still ahead, Greg is back with the weekday weather outlook. Stay with us.
Get that glorious internet connection back in business within seconds with the new self-help modem reset. Just follow these very easy steps. Step 1, call 601-2200 or 242-300-2200. Number 2, select option 3. Step 3, select option 2. Step 4, enter your 8-digit account number. Step 5, follow the prompts. It's really that simple. Rev, you and us together.
Welcome back to our news. It's beginning to feel like Christmas as temperatures dip. Greg is back with the latest.
Thanks again, Christine, and welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather. I hope you're enjoying these beautiful conditions outside. We have a frontal boundary that moves through the capital now into the central Bahamas with some isolated showers, small ones with it, and that high pressure behind. Nice change in the air mass expected for the next couple of days. We do expect another front by the weekend, but we will continue this nice weather pattern over the next several days. Temperatures will stay in the upper 70s to very near the 80-degree mark during the daytime, and your low temperatures at night will fall into the low 60s. So enjoy it. Very nice for the next several days. The tropics, we are one day away from the official hurricane season, the end of it, the Atlantic, and things are very quiet out there, and tropical cyclone formation is not expected through the next 5 days. Boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Winds will be out of the northeast to east at 10 to 15 knots. Seas running 2 to 4 feet, slightly high with some swells out there. Tide will be low at 9:29 tonight. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Monday. Very lovely conditions expected for the next couple of days. Do enjoy it. Back to you, Christina.
Thanks, Greg, and thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Christina Dragovich. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night. Have a beautiful evening, Bahamas.